Hey guys, welcome back to, another review where we're gonna review Toon Harmony. And so, just like the Flash review I did, I'm gonna talk about my opinions on it, how easy it is. And this is used for like worldwide cartoons like SpongeBob SquarePants. So that's where I was like intrigued and then got Harmony trial. So, let's get started. So, create a new scene. Name new scene. I created my own folder for my animations. It's usually just in your documents. I just put it in a separate folder. Camera size HDTV 1080p 24. Width, height, frame rate, field of view. So this is kind of confusing. You could also watch video tutorials, which is a button over here, or get help, which is basically a lifesaver, and this is the banner. So you could choose the location where to save, and you could name your scene, which we could call Testy Testy. And then camera size, and also width, height, and frame rate. We can't edit these. If we click on it, nothing's happening. Well, that's because we have to do, these are all depicted by the camera size. So we click this little arrow over here. It'll bring up a range of presets. HD TV, which is basically just TV, 1080p 24, 25. It'll just basically tell the resolution and the frame rate. 4K UHD will change it to 3480 by 2160, but that's too big. So, film 4K, we'll just change it to another resolution. Cineon, NTSC, PAL, 2160p. It will just give you the default settings. And in order to change these values, I like to go for HDTV 720p 24 because that will give me a resolution of 1280 by 720 and 24 frames per second. I don't know what field of view is, neither do I care about it. But if you want to edit these values to suit your taste, then you click this plus button. And all the resolutions I think are 16 by 9. So this is basically all of these options, like all of the options that the camera size controls, which is your resolution name, because it will become a preset. So if you use a type of preset more often, then you could use that, the default. And if you want to delete a preset, click the minus button. If you want to add a preset, click the plus button. You can delete the default presets. But if you use one resolution very often, you might as well want to create a preset for it. So your resolution name is HDTV 720 by 24. You could also change it. You could change the resolution, width, height, or aspect ratio. So let's name this my camera setup. And I just pressed space, but I added an underscore because you can't put spaces, you can only put underscores. You could also put your resolution to 550 by 400 if that's what you want. But I prefer 1280 by 720. The field of view is going to be either vertical or horizontal. I don't know what that means. Frame rate, you could set it to 30 or 24 or something. So if we create that, it will go from my camera setup. And then it'll add it to the top, and you could delete the preset if you want to. You can also add as many presets as you want. But let's go for HDTV 720p and 24 frames per second. So let's create the scene and let's watch the magic.
A few moments later.
Oh, magic is happening. Magic. So yeah, this is basically your scene now. Oh, this is not supposed to be here. Where is that? But basically, this is your scene, and it might seem very, very confusing at first, but you'll eventually get the hang of it. So let's bring our timeline up a bit. Now this is your viewport, and I'm currently running the advanced version. And as you can see, we are running Toon Boom Harmony Advanced. Well, it said Harmony 12. Why is it saying 14 right now? But anyways, so I let's just begin to say that this is a vector program as well as Flash. This is a vector program as well. So if you draw something, it can edit its points and it will not lose any detail. So if I could draw a stick figure. And also, as I said in the Flash review where the maximum size can all be adjusted, that's here too. But if you click this button arrow, you'll have your brush properties, which you can set the maximum size and your minimum size. So let's set that minimum size to about like this. You could also set the smoothing. For example, like the smoothing will define the amount, and also paper texture will make it paper like this. You could also make it chalk, but I don't want to. So you can also add your own brush presets. So let's draw a stick figure. Notice if I press light, it goes small, and if I press harder, then it almost goes big. So let's set the minimum size to about here. Wait, my pressure sensitivity is broken. No, never mind. Well, so as you can see here, why is this looking like sharp? Well, click Z, hold Z, and just zoom in. See that you could zoom in however you want, and then yeah, that's just Windows Ink. But notice how it's still smooth. So let's zoom out over here. And also, I was using Windows Ink right there. So that's not a feature of Harmony. That's just like normal, unintentional. But as far as a vector layers, you could also add a drawing layer of bitmap. Wait. So you could add a number of different layers here, like a camera, a bone, a color card. It's supposed to add a color card because if we like draw a stick figure on a drawing layer, click here to add a drawing layer, by the way. You could name it which one. So it'll you could add multiple layers if you want and keep on spamming add if you want to add lots of layers. Or click add and close if you want to add multiple stuff. Then adding layer of these options because, well, you have these options. You could either set line out or color out to bitmap. So let's add a layer, which is vector, pure vector. And let's add a layer that is pure bitmap. So I clicked add over there and it still had this window open. So that's useful if you're like adding a bunch of layers and stuff. But in this case, we're going to add and close. And yeah, we need to get all these drawing layers. So yeah, that was just like basics. I don't know. Layers. So yeah, let's just delete this. Shift and then delete. So now we got like layers. Now we got layers and could each do drawing in them. Note that some options are disabled if you select a bitmap layer, like the outline tool, morphing. Also, if you click and drag these or just click and hold, you'll have the different tools. One feature is, and like I really like this program because it was similar to Flash, but then I thought like, and especially the 3D, but then I thought like, hey, I don't really need all those features. So then I stuck with Flash, and this is probably gonna be the last time I'm ever gonna launch Harmony. So let's say we do a drawing of, let's say we do a drawing over here. So let's just set the maximum size to this. So this is just our little character. This is just our little character's head. We could fill it in with this color. Why are there like color presets? Well, I'll tell you later. Or let me tell you now, because this is just color palettes. And if you want to add another color like orange, then click the plus button and it will add a new color. And if you color with the specific color, then it will be like a tagged swatch, in Animate CC. If you change the color, it will change across every animation that you did in the file. So that's handy, but it's now in Flash, so I don't really care. So let's make this our shading color. So let's double click this and shading. Let's type shading. Now let's double click the white and then we'll get this. And if you click multi-wheel mode, it'll just bring up this thing. But I like single wheel mode. So it's like Flash, you could set the HSV. The only things I care about, like solid gradient, the gradient options, the alpha. So let's set this to like a white color, a blackish color, and set this to a kind of whitish gray. So let's say we bring a little bit of a black color. A little bit, I don't know. So let's set it to this color because I can't create like normal shading like that. So then, if you want to, you could set it to solid, or you could set it to gradient, and it's like Flash. You could set the points in the gradient. For example, you could click this, set it to red. You could set it to linear or radial, and you could add different colors in between, like this. But I just like solid. It'll be white solid. So let's set this because I can create a grayish color. I don't know how to. Or yes, I can. I can. Sorry. So that's our shading. And the cool thing about Harmony is if you hold the paint bucket tool, you could get the stroke tool, which means you could drag over here. Give this warning, you added the stroke to the drawing board. It will not be visible unless you with show strokes from the view menu. So you can click view and click show strokes, but I don't see it. Yeah, show strokes, you click K to enable that. And if we try to fill it over here, see, that's what happens. But we want to fill this, and that's our character with our shading. And let's just click black, and then let's just add the rest of our character. So I'm just gonna add it like he has a jacket. And I'm coloring a little bit sloppy because I know I have the eraser tool. And let's just scroll a little bit down and then just fill this in. So let's click space, scroll back up. Now let's click this little pencil with the eraser over there, and then let's erase the strokes, the other small strokes that we had. This is useful if you want to get rid of some strokes or just do some overlap. So then we could just select white and fill it in. Oh yeah, it's not filling in, so I'm just gonna quickly color this. Now if this isn't happening, for some reason I'll just see the reason why and just realize like, oh, it's not colored like this, so I guess now I could color it in. Yeah. So let's set the view to 100 again, or fit to view. And now let's get the stroke tool. You could select don't show again if you know that won't happen. So now we could select our paint bucket tool, select our shading color, and then paint it in. So let's just click K and it will show us strokes. We don't have to do any trial and error. There's even strokes of our paintbrush. And now we added this, and now we have to extend the exposure in order to, which is basically, exposure is frames basically, if we're coming from Flash. So click F5, don't drag to add, just click and then click F5. And if you want to add a new drawing, I used to add a new keyframe, but then I realized I could do like drawings, create empty drawing, or Alt Shift R. Shift R to create an empty drawing. Or you could do like duplicate drawings or Alt Shift D. So I could do Alt Shift D or just click here and it will add another drawing. So what I could do is I could go to my brush, I could go to my black color, or I could go to my white color, just erase it, erase this, erase it, erase it, erase it, fill it in. and then just add teeth. You could also select different stuff. For example, I could select, but you have to do lasso select and not marquee. So you could hold this and then select marquee, but if you're used to Toon Boom, then you probably want to do the little like lasso select. So we're just cleaning up. So now let's select the paint bucket tool, fill in the eyebrows, add in more eyebrows, or not adding more eyebrows, but let's just find a replacement for them. We could also add in more overlap. So let's just click the eraser tool. Or let's just show the cutter tool. Now there are separate strokes. If I'm correct. No, I'm not correct. But let's erase them. I'm forgetting Toon Boom right now. But it's happy that I am forgetting because I don't need knowledge of this tool anymore. So let's just click this and this. And this is not a tutorial. I'm just showing like how I learned to do it. And now we have an animation. So this will run at 24 frames per second. Let's just delete this drawing. So we can delete separate drawings. And we can also extend the exposure now. So if we click play, I've moved it over here for some reason, it plays. And if you're wondering what the bitmap tools are for, let me just hide this layer. So let's disable this layer, means we can't see it. Now we can't use this. Can't use the contour editor, we can't use the pencil editor, because these are all for vector. So we could use the brush tool, so let's see. So what we're gonna do is that some tools aren't available here because they're only available for vector, like the pencil tool. But if we create just like a little bit of a stick figure here, like let's just increase the size, or this is the bitmap brush properties. That's why it's, well, different. And blurry. So if we want to find a solid brush, you have to go through the presets. So let's say we have a little bit of a stick figure over here. Or you could do it without the neck or whatever you prefer. I'm going to draw it with the neck because this is a small brush. And it kind of looks nice. Just a little bit of a neck. But if we zoom in, like if we change the zoom size, look, pixels. Them pixels are back. Them pixels are back. So like every drawing has them. And oh yeah, if you want to say that, why am I drawing stick figures with necks? I only draw little necks if it's a really thin brush. But if it's a really thick brush, then I draw it without the neck. So if it's a really thick brush, it will be like this. And the maximum size could be just about like anything. Like if, for example, if we draw a head, or Toon Boom's lagging. If we draw a head and like we draw a big stick figure, it kind of doesn't look nice, so I draw it without a neck. But anyways, so we got the bitmap things right here. Let's see what. Oh yeah, we can use the stroke. So that's cool or not cool. And if you're wondering, I also created a little bit of a test animation over here. So it's right here, open recent. These are my two documents. So we go for test, stage, click discard, and let's just wait for the magic to happen. Okay, there's two timelines, neat. Now there's nothing, only a toolbar, and some mini bar and stuff. Okay guys, so it loaded. There's a little bit of test. You can see I have keyframes down there because I wasn't listening to like any of the Toon Boom rules. I just created a little stick figure running. And the head is on a separate layer because I wanted to keep it consistent. And the color card is what makes it white. So that way when you click this, which is to preview the finished animation, it will appear white. And the reason why it's so slow is because it's rendering. It says render. That's pretty much it for my short tutorial. And my opinion is that it's pretty powerful for an animation software. I haven't learned all of the stuff, obviously. You could also use this awesome 3D stage, which means you can rotate the view. Look, we're viewing in 3D. We're viewing in the magic of 3D. Which means now we can watch the stick figure running left. And towards us. But yeah, it's pretty powerful. It's got this 3D stage. And well, yeah. The reason I put it just like immediately on my wish list because I was like super excited for the 3D feature, and I wanted to get Harmony. And but then I thought like, hey, I don't really need a 3D feature, so it's like choose based on what you need. So yeah, I dropped this out, and this might be the last time I'm ever launching Harmony. So my opinion, easy, sorta. It's easy because it's sort of easy because once you get the hang of it, you understand how the interface works. But there's no easing. I tried to tween stuff, but it isn't easing correctly. For example, let's say we wanted to make this drawing go a little bit more to the right, and if we want, let's go to the camera view and just select this tool, reposition all drawings, and then I can literally reposition all of them. So I can just make this head go up here and it will reposition them for all the drawings. So let's just drag this back. And if we create a new document here, then if we just type like a new scene, create, just discard it and just like wait for it to load. So it loaded right here, but if we create just like a little bit of a stick figure, but if we click this view, it's black. So it's kind of confusing considering you have to set the stage color. But then you have to click color card, which is an optional stage color. But then the drawing gets small, so I have to add it below the drawing. And then it will be added as a background, and click the drawing and drag it upwards. Now it will be added as a background. So render view is what's happening when you render. Matte view is useful mode for displaying only matte or alpha information in the scene. Useful when working with the mask to cut away part of the scene. And this is the OpenGL view, mode for displaying a scene with fast response, non-final output quality. The playback animation and makes changes and see results instantly. So yeah, if we add a color card, then it will be visible. And if you click the color card, it has this little thing. And this changes a tool. Or, no, it doesn't. So let's select the color card. We can't select it, that's great. We can actually select it. But I don't know how to change the background color. But anyways, so if you're looking at the interface for the first time, I think you got your mind blown entirely. So really, you should first learn Harmony. But I think it's pretty good. So yeah, that's my review, guys, and that's like a short tutorial. And well, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please drop a like, leave a comment, and smash the subscribe button and click the little bell to get notified of new updates by the channel. Other than that, I hope to see you in the next review. But anyways, bye.